What is up, everybody? So, we talked about having better camera quality this week. Well, I have a GoPro now, and I am trying to figure out. Apparently, there's a way that you can use Periscope through your phone, through your GoPro. So, I'm going to keep messing with that. I couldn't get it to work today, hence why I'm on so late now. I was trying to do this like an hour ago. But yeah, wouldn't work. And I don't understand how it's supposed to work because everything says like, hey, just connect to your GoPro and then get on Periscope. Well, if you connect to your GoPro, you're not connected to internet. So how are you supposed to use Periscope? I don't get it, but whatever. I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully by next week for next show, we'll be using this. Or it'll be used via YouTube through the GoPro. So then we'll have a hell of a lot better camera quality than what we got going on there. You can see all the pixels on here, and that's awful. But then again, this desktop webcam is not the greatest, but whatever. Gets the job done, I suppose. And I haven't even had my microphones plugged in for like 2 or 3 weeks now, so I'm sure the audio sucks on here too. Hopefully get that and get GoPro going, and we'll double the production quality here, which would be phenomenal. But until then, so got a lot going on right now. We have NHL playoffs going on, NBA playoffs going on. Baseball's getting into the middle of their regular season now. We're getting past that first month. We've got NFL draft just happened. Yeah, so like we're just plowing through all kinds of sports right now. So I don't know what my sister just shared with me on Twitter, but it looks funny. Right now, Blazers and Nugs are on, and the Nuggets are up 10 right now, 99-89, with 10.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Damian Lillard is leading the Blazers in scoring with 27 points, while the Nugs are being led by Nikola Jokic. They got 10 minutes in that one, and Denver just went up 11 now. So there's that for you. Yesterday we had the close game between the Rockets and the Warriors. Apparently, there's all kinds of fouls that could have been called against the Warriors that were not called yesterday, and the Rockets are pissed about it. Apparently, there was an estimated 81 missed calls by the referees yesterday. I don't know how accurate that is, but whatever. Chris Paul even got ejected from the game, and he got fined for contact with the ref. So that's neato. The Sixers beat the Raptors. That series is tied 1-1 now. Jimmy Butler with 30 points. Over in the NHL side, Boston is up in their series right now. If I remember correctly, I don't think they've played more than 2 games. Or maybe they have. Anywho, we'll get a better look at that here in just a second. I know St. Louis beat Dallas tonight, so they're up in that series 2-1. Where? The brutal honesty of the Columbus Blue Jackets, that they suck but are somehow here. What is this? You gotta love when your computer just does random things. Okay, I don't care. Get off the screen. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, are we getting somewhere now? Maybe. We're trying here. Okay, so yes, Bruins, Blue Jackets. The series is tied. Series tied 1-1. Sharks and the Avalanche are tied 1-1. That was a hell of a comeback by the Sharks the other night, and the Avalanche to return the favor with another close game when they scored the last goal to stay in the lead there. Impressive hockey all around. Glenn, my guy, what is happening? How are you, my friend? Hmm. I have been swell, my dude. How is the down under life treating you lately? It's that song from SpongeBob. That's good. All right. Anywho, I did watch some of the draft. The Hurricanes lead the Islanders series, by the way, 2-0. I was going to touch on that. Glenn, what did you think about the Colts draft? Did you think they drafted fairly well? Or you too, Jake? What about the Bungles? Did they draft well? Hey, Jake. Green Bay got some very questionable picks. I will say that. Colts got that fast dude. Oh, Paris Campbell. Well, Jake, why didn't you tell them to draft Haskins? He was right there. He was right there for the taking, and yet Cincinnati decided to take Jonah Williams, and nobody clapped, which was kind of funny. Yeah, but you did well for for not having first round pick. I mean, you had 3 second-round picks. So, do you think Ryan Finley is going to take over where Andy Dalton can't pick up the slack, or is he just going to be a permanent backup until they realize that Ryan Finley is probably better? You hope so. Do you like Andy Dalton, or do you think he's kind of run his course and he's done? Oh yeah, okay. So the first round pick that I guess more so top 10 pick that really confused me was I didn't really think Clelin Farrell was a top 5 pick. I was thinking early second round, maybe late first round, but the Oakland Raiders jumped up and took him at 4 with their first. The Raiders could have waited until probably their 24th pick to take him, or even the 27th pick. Honestly, though, I think the Raiders' picks turned out to be pretty good. They got a pass rusher, which they had previously lost in Khalil Mack. They got a safety, and and they replaced Marshawn Lynch with Josh Jacobs. Yeah. Um, Honestly, Green Bay, I didn't understand their draft philosophy. They picked up Rashawn Gary, who I didn't think would have been one of their top targets. I figured Montez Sweat would have been one of the guys that they wanted. Obviously, they probably would have wanted like Josh Allen or maybe even Clelin Farrell. Um, didn't really think the Rashawn Gary pick was very a great idea because I think he would have been available at 30. But then they ended up trading up a couple spots with the Seahawks, getting rid of all of their fourth round draft picks to draft a guy that I'm pretty sure would have still been there at 30 or even in the second round. Green Bay hasn't really done much free agency wise. They picked up Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith. They picked up can't think of what his name is. He was a lineman over in Denver for a little bit, and they re-signed a couple guys. But other than that, like I don't know, this draft didn't really surprise me a whole lot. Aside from the fact that I guess I can see why Arizona would have gone ahead and taken Kyler Murray. Um, New coach, getting your guy that he's been wanting forever. Whatever. Josh Rosen gets a fresh start in Miami. So, and it's not like he's old dude either. It's almost like they're getting a rookie again. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing for him. Um, I think Kyler Murray will probably be about average. Like his first year, he'll probably do good because he'll run around like crazy and look decent. But then again, like Arizona needs to buff up their offensive line to get anything done, and that's why Josh Rosen wasn't very successful. Is because he didn't have anything around him. He had Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk for half this, and he had Christian Kirk for like half the season. Probably not. I don't know what he's doing. He probably doesn't even like football anymore, which whatever. But yeah, I mean he'll show flashes of his athleticism, which will make a couple big plays for him. I still think the Cardinals are going to go like 5-11, 6-10 this year, something like that, because they did get some key pieces in there, but I don't think it was enough to really do a whole lot. They needed, like, they would have been fine with Josh Rosen. They needed to beef up their defense and their offensive line. They've got a few pieces at for wide receivers, and obviously they've got David Johnson, who's one of the better running backs. But if you don't have that offensive line, you're not going to do any. You're not going to do as good on offense. If you don't have defense, you're not going to stop anybody. So they needed to buff those positions or those sides or those areas up. But instead, they decided to go a completely different direction because I guess they just want to help out Cliff Kingsbury and let him have his way. The only thing is, what happens in 2 or 3 years now if they don't do any good and Cliff gets fired? Now they've got Kyler Murray, who's tiny and runs around, and then they get a new coach who doesn't necessarily like his style of play or wants to use him. I don't know, weird circumstances, but at the same time, same thing for Josh Rosen here. Comes in and doesn't fit what Kingsbury wants, I guess. Dude, Drew Lock, man, he's a first round talent, and I don't know how the hell he slid so far. I knew he was going to go to the Broncos because they've been talking about it for so long, and he was about the only quarterback that John Elway was high on. And when they got to the Denver pick, they ended up trading out of the top 10. So the Steelers could jump up and get Devin Bush. Then they trade back to 20 and take Noah Fant, which irritated me because I really thought Green Bay should have taken him, but whatever. But that does give them a great playmaker for Joe Flacco or Drew Lock, whoever ends up starting. Aside from that, They also got some offensive tackle help by taking Dalton Reisner out of Kansas State. He can play tackle or guard. And then right after that, they took Drew Lock. So not only do they have their quarterback of the future, they built a little bit of that offensive line now and gave him a piece or a playmaker. So, I mean, I think they did all right. Denver's definitely going to be on the rise here in a year or two out because of those picks, honestly. Yeah, New England ended up taking Jarrett Stidham. Will he be the successor in New England? Who knows? We'll find out. He'll probably just end up hanging around for a year or two and get traded to somebody else. I thought Jarrett Stidham was super underrated going into this draft. He's pretty dang good. He tore up SEC defenses, and those are supposed to be the best defenses in all of college football. And he put up numbers on them with a not so good offensive line at Auburn. Went to back-to-back SEC championships, I believe. And doesn't get as much credit as he should, but it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, Panthers got Will Greer. Now people are starting to think, well, because they took him, is Cam Newton's job safe? I think the main thing that they're thinking of is Cam's shoulder issue that he keeps reigniting. Last season, when they had to bring in backups, they had Tyler Hinkie and Jared Allen, not Jared Allen, Tyler Allen, whatever his name is, that dude from Arkansas, whose brother I thought was better than him. So I think they're trying to just solidify that backup spot with Will Greer and have a legitimate backup who possibly could take over in a couple years if these injury issues keep hurting Cam Newton. So I think that's the thought process there, which isn't a bad idea. They didn't they didn't take a high pick on him. They took a mid-round pick and whatever. Daniel Jones was the second quarterback off the board. That one honestly really surprised me because I thought the Giants would have gone a completely different direction at that point if they weren't going to take Dwayne Haskins. I thought they were going to go offensive line, maybe even defense. Excuse me. But they did not. They took Daniel Jones, which I can kind of see the reason why after they lined it all up. Cutcliffe was Peyton Manning's coach at Tennessee. He is the head coach at Duke. Cutcliffe also helped out Eli. So they're thinking, okay, we'll just have another Manning like prototype coming up, or whatever you want to call it. And Daniel Jones will be the next like Manning brother in a sense because he's got this similar style of play. He is definitely more mobile than both of those Manning brothers, and he's been taught under the same coach as both of them. He is no Manning, but he's been taught under the same coach as both of them. And I honestly think athletically, he has a better skill set than both of them. Will he end up being as good as either one of them? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's kind of surprising. And then later on in the draft, they end up taking Dexter Lawrence at 17, which was surprising because a lot of people thought he was going to be taken in the second round, possibly even early third round. But they ended up taking him at 17. And then they trade back up into the first round again to take DeAndre Baker, cornerback from Georgia, at 30. That one makes a ton of sense. DeAndre Baker was the number one corner. Why is my phone being weird? Baker was the number one corner in this draft. They definitely need corner help in their secondary, but the Dexter Lawrence pick still confuses me because they could have taken Baker at 17, taken somebody else at 30 if they still wanted to trade in, and then with their next pick at where did they have another pick? Not until the third round. Oh, they forfeited their pick in the third round. Interesting. But I mean, regardless, I didn't think they would have gone that route. It was weird. Yeah, the Jaguars took Josh Allen. I was kind of surprised that he fell out of the top 5. I honestly thought he would have gone to the Jets or the Raiders, but whatever. So he is going to fill in almost kind of like um, he's going to kind of be the replacement for Dante Fowler, who left to go to the Rams. And they're kind of like similar position there, the defensive end edge rusher. So he's going to be blowing off the edge there, trying to revive that Jags defense. Yeah, Detroit took T.J. Hawkinson, tight end out of Iowa. I think that kind of fits what they try to do because I know they like using their tight ends a lot down the middle of the field, as well as trying to get that run game going. And I think TJ is a good pass or a good run blocker, and will be able to get on Johnson popping out on the edge there. Who did the Pats get? They took N'Keal Harry, the wide receiver from Arizona. Do they need a safety? Yeah, I think so. They've been using Josh Jones more as a like hybrid linebacker, which has been fitting him a lot better than playing just straight up safety. They get Amos to also be that hard hitting safety but he needs somebody to be a cover guy opposite him, and I think that's what they're thinking with Darnell Savage. I really didn't think that they needed to trade up to 21 to get him, but supposedly um, he was going to be taken uh, from sources. He would have been taken before then. So, and then looking at it, the only team that took defense, who took a secondary player before 30 and after that 21 spot was Oakland. They took Jonathan Abram, the safety out of Mississippi State. Whatever. They do what they do. I don't know. I didn't think that Darnell Savage was even like one of the top rated safeties. I was always hearing about Jonathan Abram as well as Adderley from Delaware. Let's see, where did he even go? I don't even remember. Um, Byron Murphy, I think, is a great pick for Arizona. Nasir Adderley went to the Chargers. Yeah, Tua, he's still at Alabama. He's got another year. Yeah, Ravens definitely got help in their wide receiver core by taking Marquise Brown. I think him and Lamar Jackson will be able to build a great connection here in this offseason. They also took a Louisville wide receiver in the later rounds who was one of Lamar's go-to guys down at Louisville. So he's got two young guys that I think he'll connect with real quick. Yeah, I was kind of hoping Green Bay would take Montez Sweat, but I think that's a good pick for the Redskins there, especially good value too at 26. He was talked about being a top 15 or top 10 guy. Yeah, Glenn, I'm on later today because I got a GoPro and I've been trying to get it to connect to my computer so then the YouTube stream will look a lot better. That wasn't working out. And then I found out I can use the Periscope app to stream through the GoPro through the phone somehow. But that I couldn't figure out how that works because you have to like use your Wi-Fi to connect to the GoPro, which didn't make sense to me. I probably wasn't doing it right, but whatever. So maybe by next week, this will work out a hell of a lot better, and I'll be on at a normal-ish time with a lot better camera quality. So that'll be nice. Yeah, Greedy Williams. I thought he was going to go a hell of a lot higher in the draft because he was one of the better corners in the draft as well. Um, I thought about trying to figure out a consistent co-host, but I'm potentially moving here in the next month or two. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Uh, yeah, because then if I move, then what's the point of having a co-host when I'm leaving them anyways? So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Seahawks got DK Metcalf. I think that's definitely going to help them out in their receiving core because aside from Doug Baldwin, like who do they have? They lost Lockett. They don't really have anybody. Where am I going? I don't know yet. We'll have to see where the jobs want me. You've got an update for you. Too bad. No. Oh, there's 3.5 minutes left. Portland is down at 11 now. They were down 9, but Denver just scored. Hmm. Um, mhm. So instead of going through every draft pick here, um, check check on the YouTube page coming up here in the next couple days because Wednesday supposed to be filming a like sports show, like legitimate roundtable with several people. So whenever we figure out how that's going to be going down, I'll be posting that onto our YouTube page here and give that a peek because we'll be talking about the draft. We'll probably talk a little bit about playoffs, hockey, base or not baseball, hockey and basketball. Um, and we might talk a little bit about baseball. But yeah, that'll be a fun time. So check it out. If you guys have any questions that you would like discussed on that show, send them to me via Twitter or however you can get a hold of me. I don't care. Um, Not only does that help me out by giving me something to talk about, but it also answers things that you guys want to hear and gives you a different perspective from just myself too, because then other people get to listen or other people get to ask questions or answer questions. Ugh. It's not going to be live. It's going to be recorded and then posted later on. But yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, Bucks better win tomorrow. I was kind of surprised the Celtics handled them as well as they did in Milwaukee. We'll see. I'm sure that game will probably get turned around, especially if Malcolm Brogdon comes back here in the next game or two. That'll be a huge game changer as well. So yeah, be on the lookout Thursday or Friday for that pre-recorded show. So I'm pop off here, guys. Yeah, I know it was a short show this week. That's fine. It's whatever. I got other things to do. That's why. So have a good one, everybody. We didn't even have the third stream going like usual either because I wasn't ready for that. My iPad was dead and I forgot about it. So yeah, we'll hopefully have a lot of improvements next week. Have a good one, everybody. Oh, I can scroll back through comments now on here.